Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the departure lounge of Peninsula Airways Flight 242.
Good morning, Brian.
Hi, Sue. How are you doing?
Very good. Why aren't you up front?
Well, I've got to go to King Salmon to check on some training stuff, and I thought I'd sit in the back. Sure is comfortable, isn't it? It's amazing to think that Orin started all this with one little airplane, Pilot Point, flying off the beach. And here we are, the largest regional in the state of Alaska.
In the 40s and 50s, all the airline service was with float planes, and they all landed on the lakes and the rivers of the various villages. There were no airports here. Well, when I brought my first plane here in 1954, I couldn't afford floats. So I had to learn to land on this beach. And also that we ended up serving primarily Chignik and Perryville, Port Huyton, which had virtually no airline service at the time. So I landed on all those beaches down there too, and I just had to learn how to do it. So in those days, the most important piece of paper I had to have with me was a tide book, because I had to work the tides. And that's how we operated until the runways started showing up in the villages in the 60s and 70s, and which I built 3 of them myself by borrowing bulldozers. And here we are today.
You just need to be down at gate L1 by 11:30. You guys are in 6 feet. And
Tested right, transponder TCAS, set and standby. No bat start light.
He's out.
Condition lever.
Fuel off.
Good morning. Welcome aboard Peninsula Airways, the Spirit of Alaska since 1955. At this time, I'd like to point out some of the safety features on board our Saab 340.
PenAir, Alaska's largest regional air carrier, has been serving Alaskans for over 50 years. Today, with a fleet of 32 aircraft and a code-share partnership with Alaska Airlines, PenAir provides a vital link from 36 communities throughout Southwest Alaska to the world. But it all started in the days when Alaskans outside the larger cities relied on bush pilots in times of urgent need.
I grew up in Pilot Point, a little town on the south side of Bristol Bay, and started making trips particularly down south Chignik and Port Huyton areas, and you know, there just wasn't any air service down there at all. I mean, there wasn't an airplane within hundreds of miles.
Back in '58 was when I first was hired by Orin Seybert, and I couldn't have worked for a better man. It was just, we had a wonderful time together, just kind of flying and building the company from scratch. There was no airfields down there, so we had to check with the tide book and make sure we got down there when the tide was out. At Perryville, it's really soft, at pumice-type sand, and as soon as you slow down or shut the power off, well, your wheels just go down in the sand. And I know a lot of times when I took off, I had to have some guys pushing on the struts on the outside, help me get rolling so I get fast enough to get airborne. You know?
Now a modern airline, PenAir no longer lands on the beaches, but is still meeting the needs of southwestern Alaskans with regularly scheduled passenger service. Today, PenAir also provides cargo shipping, small package express, mail delivery, and charter service throughout Alaska, Canada, and the United States. Throughout its 50-year history, PenAir's dedication to the Bristol Bay Area commercial fishing industry has been crucial to Alaska's economy. Each summer, commercial fishing in southwestern Alaska employs thousands of people. They come from all over Alaska and all over the world to work on the fishing boats and at processing plants. For 5 decades, PenAir has provided dependable transportation to these workers while managing flight schedules around extremely challenging and unpredictable weather conditions. On the remote Aleutian island of Akutan, Seattle-based Trident Seafood employs over 800 people at a large processing facility. The company relies on PenAir to transport workers and materials to and from the island. Trident President Chuck Bundren's relationship with Orin Seybert goes back to the very early days of their companies.
Orin has been a godsend to many companies in Alaska. Certainly Trident is beholding to Orin and PenAir for the service they provided for us all over western Alaska, Bristol Bay, but the most important thing for us is his service to Akutan. We have 800 employees there, and he's trying to service this thing with a couple of gooses that are built before I was born. And I know it's not financially rewarding to him, but it's the commitment he made to me 40 years ago that he'd always be there for me, and he's trying to get 800 people in and out of Akutan a year per season is a difficult thing, and Orin is there.
With no roads in and out, communities in southwest Alaska rely almost solely on air transportation for travel, mail service, and supplies not barged in, and especially for medical emergencies.
I think they provide a very needed service, and they do it exceptionally well, and I think they're extremely popular with the local people.
Everything we need comes through PenAir, and every time there's medical problems, we go through PenAir.
Last year, for some reason, maybe everybody thinks I'm getting old or something, about 5 people came to me and thanked me for either saving their life or really helping them out because they were hurt or something.
The way I look at it, that without PenAir, we have nothing.
St. George and St. Paul are known as the Pribilof Islands, and PenAir certainly has become part of the life and even the lifeline out to the Pribilofs now. I do trust their pilots. I'm going out there, and I'll fly on PenAir any day, St. George and St. Paul or wherever.
I started flying with PenAir, I guess in 1956, and what I looked at mostly was their safety record. I've had personal experience with these pilots, and I'll tell you, boy, these guys are good.
And have you been to Kobe before?
Today, PenAir's modern fleet of aircraft, including 6 30-passenger Saab 340s, continues to serve the residents of these communities, in addition to meeting the needs of a growing tourism industry. Each year, more and more visitors are discovering southwestern Alaska for its world-class fishing and wildlife viewing. With frequent and dependable air service from Anchorage on PenAir, tourism will continue to grow and contribute to the region's economy. Since PenAir became a regional air carrier in 1965, the company has made safety priority number 1. In 1998, the company introduced several new initiatives to enhance the company's safety program, including ongoing audits, increased pilot training, and improved weather minimums. The flight risk assessment that was developed has become one of our most significant tools for providing management oversight during flight. PenAir was also instrumental in the FAA's Capstone project, designed to eventually equip every Alaskan aircraft operation with a commercial GPS and multifunctional display unit. Then in 2002, PenAir and the Alaska Air Carriers Association decided to extend their safety movement further and create a new culture of safety in Alaska aviation. As a result, the Medallion Foundation was formed. The Medallion program was funded by Congress in 2002, and air carriers across Alaska have since taken advantage of new safety systems and free pilot training. In the past 50 years, many air carriers in Alaska have come and gone, but PenAir is here to stay. A vital link from jet service to and from the state to the communities of southwestern Alaska and out the Aleutian chain.
The interesting thing about Alaska Air Service is that it's more than just flying airplanes from point A to point B. It's really looking out for all of the needs of the communities, and PenAir just does that in a fabulous way with all of the points that they serve in the state.
Alaska Airlines is dedicated to continuing to serve the state, but in order to do that, we need the PenAirs of this world to help feed some of those rural hubs and to help us on into the future.
I expect we're going to go into the next century together. I've got my kids in the business, and Orin's got his, and we're committed to each other. And it's more than just a business relationship. It's a friendship and a respect that I have for all that he's done for Alaska and for Trident. We're committed to being partners with Orin for forever.
It's just a great marriage, it's a great partnership, and I look forward to another 50 years.
Looking at the next 50 years, it's very important to remember why Dad started the company. He wanted to help people, and he had the only airplane in Southwest Alaska, and so that's been his philosophy all these years, is to help the people and the companies that work in the area conduct their business and their lives. And we're going to use that same philosophy in the next 50 years to support the communities in Southwest Alaska.
A couple planes going to Dutch Harbor.
As Alaska continues to grow, so will PenAir's ability to serve its residents, visitors, and the industries that will lead our economy into the future. PenAir, 50 years of flying with the spirit of Alaska.